We are live. This is the market update. I am your host, Bill Noble. If you need a roadmap in crypto, if you want to find out what the Fed's going to do and what it means, stay here. Will the market ever stop dumping? Everybody keeps saying, oh, this is the last dump. That's not true. Okay. When people are saying the market is going down and we're in a bear market, that's the last dump. I think this should be over soon. We'll talk about the charts. We'll look at XRP and the strategic Bitcoin reserve. This show is brought to you by Coinbase. Get $200 in free crypto if you sign up either with this QR code or with the link down below. We've also got links for TradingView. If you're looking to get started, check out Coinbase, right? They have the best feature of Coinbase is they have the ability, it carries a fee, but it's like an instant transfer into your bank account when you cash out, right? So, and they've also been really good to me when you transfer money in, assuming Solana is working, right? You can immediately take that crypto and get it out. So check out Coinbase, especially for that cash out feature where you can instantly, literally any day of the week, move money into your bank account, kind of like Zelle. So, and they've also got, a lot of cryptos there versus other exchanges like Gemini. So check them out. All right, let's welcome who's here. We have Maxwell, Thomas, Taz Pinball, Horace, Iggy, Crypto Scam 1, Thin Bazaar, welcome. Stefan, Warmon, Neff is here. Piles, Yav, Diogo, hello. Jacob, Zepetis. Any updates on antivirus? Yes, I'll start with that. Thin Bazaar, Davey, Roby. All right. Thin Bazaar, last shakeout. Old Smoky. Okay. Let's start with an antivirus update. Okay. AINTI, that is the meme coin attached to the AI agent that brings John McAfee back from the beyond. I think it's one of the first opportunities to have an AI agent utilize, not only public, but unpublished writings from the notorious John McAfee, who was a epic genius when it came to seeing the future of crypto. Right. Recently, the Twitter account was suspended for the AI agent. Somebody attacking the project, mass reporting that they were possibly trying to imitate him in a, fraudulent kind of way, which is not true. Last night was a Twitter space where his widow, Janice, actually talked a lot about, this new project. She was actually very emotional. I spoke on a Twitter space. I'm hoping to get a phone call with Janice in the near future. I think the token is down because everyone's wound up about the Twitter account. But the thing is, there's two items. One, the main McAfee feed is obviously still working, right? 1.2 million followers. That's where the Twitter space was last night. And frankly, we think the Twitter space for the agent, in other words, talking AI McAfee, okay, will come back. They had 22 million followers. And once that comes back, that may be the FUDsters' at least final attempt for now. There's a lot of FUD around this project, and they're not seeing the full potential of having the first and most notorious, most intellectual crypto influencer ever coming back from the beyond and eventually being able to do things like holographic video and podcasting. So as things like DeepSeek, as these AI models keep getting better and better and better, right, so can the AI agent of John McAfee. Needless to say, I'll be making a lot of videos on that topic. Now, let's talk about DeepSeek. Let's talk about crypto. Let's talk about whether or not there's going to be a bottom, when is going to be a bottom, and what it's going to look like. So there's a lot of fear in the market over the Fed. That's kind of as usual. I don't think the Fed comes out and does anything. Poly market has a 95% chance that they do nothing, which is exactly what they should be doing. They should be doing absolutely nothing. They should be saving any powder that they have for a major problem. Now, let's talk about any possible major problems. NVIDIA, the chip stock, the chip design stock, went down dramatically off the announcement of the Chinese version of ChatGPT called DeepSeek. Now, here's what's funny. I did research on this after the fact. DeepSeek was a known entity. They knew it was out there. Their CEO had done interviews in November. It wasn't a secret to people who follow the AI narrative in the stock market. But as is always the case in stocks, because they're just sort of blindly bullish no matter what, DeepSeek didn't matter until it mattered, right? So they had this dramatic announcement. NVIDIA, the chip stock for AI, lost $500 billion in market cap. And most people in the stock market think that that's completely overdone. Now, the only reason it would not be completely overdone is because of NVIDIA's accounting and a possible earnings warning, as the FOMO from the AI trade gets a little extreme over in equities. So that's a summary of DeepSeek. Now, why did I give you that summary? Well, because everybody sold crypto off that announcement initially, right? Everyone's like, oh my God, America's behind in AI. And then everyone sold, and really crypto bounced back, like XRP came back. But, the rest of the market just continues to sort of bleed out. I honestly don't believe that us being behind on AI is a reason to sell crypto. And I don't even think it's a reason to sell any of the crypto AI products, right? It just feels like people wanted up only, banana singularity. I did too. And they're not getting it. And you're starting to see what I think is like a frustration liquidation across the space, right? In other words, people are just like, I can't get any gratification out of this token. I lost 40%. It's going through technical levels on charts, and I'm packing it in. Now, I understand if you have to adjust positions. I get it, right? If you bought the top and you need to stop out for tax loss purposes, okay. But in no way, shape, or form would I be giving up on crypto because of what happened with DeepSeek, right? Personally, I think they're seriously running out of FUD. And I think the Orange Man's power, right, and what they were able to accomplish so far when they're in office is something people need to take seriously, particularly this meeting at the White House between Brad Garlinghouse from Ripple and the president. We'll talk more about that. Don't go anywhere. Now, what is the big question for crypto going forward? One, it's the Bitcoin strategic reserve or the multi-asset strategic reserve. I think one of the indicators of the extent of the Orange Man's power will be whether RFKJ, my guy, Robert F. Kennedy, gets confirmed or voted in by the American Senate or Parliament if you're from overseas. In order for somebody to take a high-level job, it has to be approved by Parliament or the Senate. All right. Robert F. Kennedy is a very controversial figure who is adamantly against a lot of things that big food companies and big drug companies have done to the health of Americans. Like, it's kind of a joke. Americans are all fat if you go overseas. There are reasons for that, according to Kennedy, right? And he wants to make radical changes. So, legislatures or members of Congress or the Senate, who are influenced by big companies, may or may not vote for RFK to become in charge of Americans' health agency. Now, if RFK is confirmed, that's what the term is. If he is confirmed and allowed to take the position, that would be an indication of the extent of the power of the orange man, President Trump. So if RFK gets in my opinion, that guarantees the Bitcoin strategic reserve, because that's the most controversial thing that the orange man wants to do, right? Like everybody's in favor of laying off government employees that don't even come into the office, right? Nobody's going to question that, right? Especially if they're all getting severance packages. No one's going to question that, right? But what they will question is somebody who can, alter the balance of power between citizens and giant corporations. So if RFK Jr. gets confirmed, okay, you can bet that the Bitcoin strategic reserve can happen. Okay, at least that's how I'm looking at it. Oh my God, look at this. Now, there are also other news about the president, right, from World Liberty Financial. So let's just start ripping into the news because there's breaking news right now from the Eagle King. Okay. Trump Media to launch financial services and a fintech brand, right? Announces fund allocation to Bitcoin and similar cryptos for crypto-related securities. Okay. So World Liberty Financial is the president's, or at least the president's inner circles, I guess you could call it a hedge fund. They're indiscriminately buying crypto with whatever money they have. I mean, it's not Michael Saylor billions, but, something with Trump's name on it continues to buy crypto. And now he's coming out with a payment system for Truth Social. And there's the meeting between him and the head of XRP, head of Ripple, which we will talk about more in depth. This to me feels like a prelude to something really big. AI, they're not getting the headlines that they want. I don't think it's a hysterical reason to sell crypto, but the Chinese are ahead. That's it. Period. End of story. So they got to go big and they got to go bold on crypto because they have a massive advantage over the Chinese, and they can use crypto to create a wealth effect because despite the orange man coming into power and making a lot of big shifts, it's not changing what's going on at the grocery store. Okay. Not changing what's going on at the grocery store. And the orange man stock DJT is up 15% after announcing that they're expanding into financial services. So like what happened with many other crypto related announcements, like the Trump meme coin, they're effectively telling you in advance, like this is breaking news. They're telling you right now what they're doing. And they're telling you not only is it going to be the Bitcoin strategic reserve, but they're going to do multi-asset. Like ETH is going to be in there, I'm sure, because they own ETH, Solana, XRP, they're going to be in there. The major forms of money. I actually applied for White House press credentials. You never know. You got to be in it to win it. Euro, yen, sterling, Aussie dollar, Canadian dollar. Euro, yen, sterling, Swiss franc, Aussie dollar, Canadian dollar. Shame on me for forgetting the Swiss franc. Okay. Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, XRP, possibly the Trump meme coin, and then layer ones that haven't even come out yet or that are out and are mooning. So this idea that they're going to try to replace major currencies, in other words, they're going to try to have a digital asset that replaces every other foreign currency. They're going to use it. It just occurred to me now. They're going to use that to put pressure on people. They're going to buy digital assets and create competitions, not just for the dollar, but for everyone else's currency. It's a power play is what it is. And it's a way to get way ahead of the Chinese. Because the Chinese can come in and pump the coins of some startup, but I don't think they've got the money or the borrowing power to be able to do it. Yeah, they could print, I guess, but they don't have the ecosystem like we do. We'll see. Okay. I think they are going to open it up out of Hong Kong, though. That said, the Chinese aren't just going to sit around while we take over crypto. They're going to open it up out of Hong Kong and then everybody's going to want in soon. So governments getting involved in crypto is not yet fully understood or priced in. Okay, let's go through. All right. So now, again, the media is all picking up on who's ahead and who's not. So, Alibaba says that they have a model superior to DeepSeek. Okay. Again, I think the point with all this is what happens to NVIDIA. Is the chip company that supposedly is going to have infinite demand, is the value of that company accurate? And if it's not, there could be another decline in NVIDIA, which in my opinion is a massive opportunity to not only buy crypto, but crypto-related stocks, which are down like 40% since this DeepSeek announcement. Like, for example, Riot Blockchain. Riot Blockchain went from $14 to $10 because they wanted to have an AI angle, right? And I don't know why you would sell a Bitcoin miner off DeepSeek, but they did, right? Not to mention the fact that, I think MicroStrategy could be a buy. NVIDIA is a consensus long play. And if they get pushed out of that, they may get pushed out of a consensus short play, which is MicroStrategy. The full scope of what is happening is unprecedented in our lifetime. The Trump executive orders were clearly, meticulously planned to strike every single source of power from the left. So in America, this is pretty much unprecedented that Donald Trump just signed things and signed things and signed things and signed things. They may challenge some of them in court, but the power that's being exercised here and like the laser focus of that power is something that people in crypto, they should take seriously. And I can tell they're not taking it seriously because the entire ecosystem is basically falling apart, right? Like, I know the whole market is not going up at once. It may not be that kind of year, but it's like XRP and Bitcoin are holding and everything else goes down. I think that shifts at some point to where things like DeFi and part of the AI narrative recover. Okay, everyone was talking last year about money supply and, oh my God, money supply is contracting. No, it's not. The Fed allowed money supply to grow M2 again in December. Okay, it's the highest level since August of 2022, and it's only 1% below the all-time high. So the Fed is still printing away. They're still printing. So I don't know how much progress you're going to get on inflation, but it's not like the Fed is doing anything to stop the flow of money. Really, at the end of the day, even though the Fed's on the tape and everyone's like, oh my God, what the Fed's going to do. To be honest with you, the world has changed with the amount of government debt that the only thing that really matters is how much money our government's spending. But, the Fed has got plenty of money in the system for crypto, period, right? Which is why gold and Bitcoin and XRP can continue to go up. And then it's a matter of catching the spurt in the right crypto, in the right sector, which, is a challenging game, but that's the game in equities. That's the game in stocks. This is the game now in crypto. Like, everybody wants 2021 where they buy 10 cryptos and they all 10X. That's not happening this year. I'm just telling you right now, you've got to get the right cryptos. You may not think you're paying for the $36 trillion debt, but you actually are. Every time you pay more for rent, gas, and groceries, it's because the government spent too much money, right? The government printed too much and spent too much. So again, Orange Man is in office, but how's it going at the grocery store? It's not. It's not. We need new forms of money, and they know it. Okay, so Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse revealed he discussed, with Trump making XRP a strategic reserve asset for the United States. Garlinghouse emphasized that the reserve has got to include something more than Bitcoin. Okay, well, it's hard to argue against that at this point, right? And I think if this doesn't get done, then there's going to be a monster disappointment trade because it's in the news every day. Now, let's talk about this conversation. So most likely, Garlinghouse sat there and tried to explain to the orange man the value proposition of XRP. Okay, that's logical. Now, what did the orange man say? This is not, I don't think people are thinking about this. Like, Garlinghouse says, here's what XRP can do. Now, I have a question. Did the orange man ask Garlinghouse, either at the start or in the middle of the conversation, like, if I include you in the strategic reserve, what do I get? Right? Like, Garlinghouse comes in and says, pump the XRP bag. Okay. But what does Donald Trump get in return? It's art of the deal, right? Now, I think the deal is, truthfully, that Trump asked Garlinghouse, what can you do for the United States? Garlinghouse's answer, hopefully, is, I can 10x the size of Ripple if you put it in a strategic reserve. So I can take us from 1,000 employees to 5,000 or 10,000 employees. Okay. And this is a wealth effect for a lot of common citizens, because a lot of people don't own Bitcoin, but it's really easy for somebody to open up an account and pay $3 for XRP. It makes them feel like they have a wealth effect, right? It makes people feel wealthy if they buy something at 3 and if it goes to 6. Because I think that seems logical, given that XRP's market cap is only 200 billion. So if I was Brad Garlinghouse, that's what I would have said to the orange man about what can we do for you? Because if XRP has a $1 trillion market cap, they could build a crypto Goldman Sachs or a crypto Galaxy Digital on top of XRP. I'm sorry, on top of Ripple. In other words, the orange man wants stuff built. Now, you can do a Bitcoin strategic reserve, but I mean, is that going to result in 10,000 people getting hired at MicroStrategy? No, it's not. Right. And I think the other guy that has to get on the phone with Donald Trump is Vitalik. Right. So, in other words, with this news officially out, I mean, this was unofficially out, but with this news officially out, the head of every single crypto project has to go meet the orange man now. This is just a prediction, right? So Charles Hoskins from Cardano, I mean, he's already involved, right? Garlinghouse met with the president. Everyone has to meet with the president now. Everybody has to go see the Godfather and explain that if you put my coin in the Bitcoin, in the digital asset strategic reserve, this is what I can do for America. And Vitalik should just move the whole thing over here, because I don't know what the case for Ethereum is outside of Ethereum becoming money, which it is. It is. Ethereum historically moves with gold and silver. So, Vitalik's social skills are, subpar. So they probably got to send Joe Lubin over here, if I've got that pronunciation right, to talk to the president to be like, hey, man, we can open up a giant building or we can expand our operation. I mean, my God, Consensus was laying people off before the election. I mean, XRP, Ripple was contributing to the wrong party. So it's understandable. People were negative. But can you imagine the Ethereum Foundation meeting with the president? I can, right? I can imagine the guys from Multicoin Capital or whoever's at the top of the Solana pyramid meeting with him about the various digital assets that Multicoin Capital has supported in the Solana ecosystem. And the president is already on Solana, whether he says he knows anything about it or not. So everybody is going to have to go see the Godfather and talk about how many people they can hire. And if Algorand or Hedera or any of these coins can say, okay, Mr. President, we can build an organization if you put us in the strategic reserve. Guess what? They're going to be in the strategic reserve. This is classic Trump, right? He's going to line everybody up and say, tell me what you can do for me. I am not here to pump your bags. I mean, I want the wealth effect, right? I want our currency to at least, I want our central bank to own this stuff, but I'm not doing it if there's nothing in it for me. Just like the state of California is not getting aid for the LA wildfires without voter registration laws. It's the art of the deal. Okay, meanwhile, people continue to ignore good news, right? Ondo is going on XRP Ledger. So basically, BlackRock now wants to do tokenization on XRP Ledger. I mean, normally this would like send the market to the moon. Market doesn't care. Now, you could make an argument that it's all priced in. It's not priced in. The Bitcoin ETF at 48K, everyone's like, oh, it's priced in, sell the fact. No, it's not. No, it's not. The whole ecosystem is being dumped indiscriminately, right? You start tokenizing every asset, right? You bring digital assets to like big institutions. You tokenize stocks, that allows institutions to theoretically come in if they're on chain and invest in crypto. So I don't understand why this is not understood by the market. Ripple and civil actions have been deleted from the SEC's website. Again, Trump World Liberty Financial adds 3,000 ETH. You know, their Bitcoin is wrapped Bitcoin. This is like it completely ignored. ETH bullish sentiment is like zero. You know, it would be incredible for this market if some bullish catalyst came along for ETH. And I think it's Joe Lubin going to the White House. I think it's that simple. I mean, if Vitalik cannot figure out how to talk to the president of the United States when he's got the second biggest cryptocurrency, if they're not talking to the White House, then they need to fire everybody who works there. This is a huge opportunity. I mean, if Garlinghouse is in the White House, everybody needs to be in the White House, period. Okay, so the state governments are, as I discussed earlier, they're going to be how this strategic reserve gets done in the beginning, right? Texas Bitcoin Strategic Reserve Bill, 500 million in BTC per year. They're all going to do it, right? Arizona's doing it, right? Texas is doing it. Yes. Okay, Cynthia Loomis is never going to get off the tape until it gets done, right? I think she knows it's going to happen. And even if she doesn't, this is a great talking point for her to get all over the tape and be essentially the spokesperson inside the government for the strategic reserve. And honestly, if they weren't going to do it, they would pull her off the tape or at least tell her to slow down. She's on the tape every single day. So I don't know if she knows, but they're not stopping her from getting on the tape and talking about it. Now, as I said, what happens to Robert Kennedy is very important in terms of the Orange Man's ability to get things done that are difficult, right? RFK's favorability rating among U.S. adults has risen and his unfavorable rating has dropped, okay? The media has gone out of its way for a long time to smear this guy. You know, his views are considered controversial. I think they make a lot of sense, but you know, the media has been attacking this guy for years. That's unwinding. This guy gets confirmed. Even if they're selling crypto, I think it's very bullish. All right. Again, the Orange Man's power. The country of Colombia tried to stand up to him. They didn't want to take illegal immigrants back. They didn't want to let one of our planes land. And that ended in 2 days. That ended. If he wants a digital asset reserve, he's going to get one. The question is, what coins are in it? That's the question. FOMC decision today. Undoubtedly, Powell will tell us that we can't do the Bitcoin strategic reserve. We're not allowed to, blah, 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 right? It's going to be the classic government polyester suit. I can't, I won't. Oh, wait, the bureaucracy. No, that's all true, right? But they can put Solana and they can put Solana and XRP in ETFs, and central banks and treasuries can buy the ETFs. Right. Especially if the Orange Man is like, if you want to keep your job, this is what's going to happen. So they may throw water on this ETF, on the strategic reserve thing. Let them. You know, if the Orange Man wants it to happen, it's going to happen, especially if Kennedy gets confirmed. Right. If Powell pushes back hard on this, I mean, he can state that legally they can't just do it, which is true. But, you know, they push back on this. They're barking up the wrong tree. Everybody who's tried to stand up to the Orange Man so far has gotten fired. Okay. Gensler will return to his position at MIT as a role of professor of the practice in the Global Economics and Management Group. He will focus on teaching and conducting research on AI, finance, financial technology, and public policy. Okay, so I guess the good news about Gensler is he knows who's pulling the strings inside the government, right? In other words, Gensler never tried to save anybody from the excess on pump.fun. He never tried to stop the indiscriminate rug pulls going on that chain. He never enforced basic laws. He tried to create laws, right? And who was he reporting to? Now, makes sense that MIT might want him on staff, because if Gensler ever writes the book, blowing the doors off of who was pulling the strings, I would say that would make a good college class, right? So, on one hand, this is stupid. On the other hand, Gensler is famous, infamous, and he's probably going to write the book, right, where he talks about what really happened. You find out what really happened. I got a feeling that's very bullish for crypto. There's a lot of people that don't like crypto. There's a lot of people who don't like RFK. Everyone's like, oh, yeah, we want stuff. Yeah, unless it makes us look bad. Jamie Dimon, right? Utah House Committee, right? Utah is in. Robinhood is trying to get the SEC to update rules so they can start trading tokenized stocks. I guess they want to do it right now, right? They just want to create, I don't know, Microsoft token. Potential U.S. cryptocurrencies could be included in the National Reserve. Okay, so there are a lot of made in America cryptos. I've actually checked out CoinGecko's got a list. The ones here, the ones that, kind of stand out to me. You have Ondo, Sui, Filecoin, XRP, Near is interesting. Zcash, I had no idea Zcash was, had like a US presence. Stuff on the outside, Cardano, ApeCoin, Uniswap. Okay. And I know that the Orange Man's group was buying Move. So Elon's going to have to put government expenditures on the blockchain. That was, Robert Kennedy's idea. And one of the best ways to cut costs is to embarrass government agencies about what they spend. In other words, have them self-regulate by essentially creating a blockchain where everybody on Twitter just sits around and watches them do business. If they have to do business on the blockchain, then, there can be this organic check on what they spend. So yeah, cutting and, having these federal workers. I mean, I'm glad these federal workers are going to get at least some severance. They're going to get the severance packages and they're going to walk away from their house, which creates a really interesting phenomenon in real estate and Virginia, because if he's offering severance packages, he's essentially going to fire everybody. Which, you already knew that with Elon coming in, right? Everybody that I think is not in law enforcement, military, and intelligence is going. And algorithms are going to run whatever is left. Okay, U.S. National Ethereum Reserve, 30% chance. It's kind of funny. That's really kind of low considering, right? Joe Lubin has got to meet with the president of the United States. Like, Ethereum cannot just sit around and get its ass kicked, in my opinion. Okay. $20 million funding round for Humanity Protocol. Okay. DeepSeek themed cryptos explode. Now, I don't know if that's meme coins, but decentralized AI and better ways of doing things are going to get a look. So if DeepSeek came out and there are non-meme related AI coins, you got to take a look at it. And I think if I can go back to antivirus for just 1 second, John McAfee started out in big tech. He made McAfee antivirus. And he said, you know what? I'm done with big tech. I'm going blockchain. So you're going to need privacy, right? These models are getting so advanced so fast that, you're going to need privacy in the metaverse. You're not going to need, you may need privacy from governments, but you need privacy from machines, right? So, antivirus wants to have privacy products like gift cards, email, stuff like that, to where, people can do things privately, like you can talk on the phone and shop on your phone, without anyone seeing it. What's wrong with that? It's like I want to shop at Target or, book a hotel without the whole world seeing it. Because right now they're selling your data to third party and they're not giving you any money for it. They're not giving you anything. Like these tech companies are getting rich with your data. They're training models. They're doing all kinds of stuff. So, take a look at what's outperforming while the market goes through this sort of like slumping FUD cycle where, everyone focuses on everything bad and nobody believes anything good. Dark Knight and Superman writer launch AI-powered crypto film universe. Right? Pioneered a blockchain and AI-based creative platform. Folks, I got news for you. You're not creating anything. This is why virtuals, I think, is so important. You're not creating or making anything that's not verified on the blockchain. Right? Either a human has to create it and get it verified on the blockchain, or if a machine creates something good, it has to be verified on the blockchain. So, issuing movies as NFTs, like, AI-based entities that make movies may release them as NFTs. Because otherwise, they just get copied. They just get copied, right? You have to have proof of humanity. You have to have proof of human. Okay. So antivirus, the Twitter space was last night. I do like this 5-wave structure coming off this panic low here. All right. Okay. Whoops. We'll see if this holds. I mean, what I know is this product with this revolutionary AI agent, if they return to Twitter, okay, this is, you ready for this? ETF. So this is Elon Trump Fart 500. 23 million market cap. Okay. You still got crazy meme coins trading above where Anti is trading. Okay. Somebody asked yesterday about the original Trump coin, the MAGA coin. What I said about this was very simple, right? Trump was going to capture the demand for Trump coins. This was like a meme coin about Trump, and whales never got exit liquidity because they never listed it on centralized exchanges, and they're not going to. Why would you have another Trump coin on an exchange? You wouldn't. So whales have to puke it out. And the thing that's crazy is it's still worth 38 million. Right? I mean, this coin, in order to do well, needed a centralized listing. Right? Now, I'm sure it has value as kind of like the original. It's true. Right? And they did donate a lot of proceeds to charity. I mean, this coin did do a lot of good things. But, how are they going to go? How's the coin going to go up without a centralized exchange listing? This is the Made in America cryptos. Okay. There's actually a lot of them. There's a lot, right? XPR network we looked at the other day. Very interesting. Okay. Decred and Digibyte, those are like digital cash solutions. Clearpool is RWA. That's a very interesting. Ravencoin is real world assets. I mean, some of this stuff is so obscure that nobody would ever think to touch it, right? Nobody would ever think to touch it. Like, Melania is up there. Like, Melania is way up there on the market cap chart. Okay. Compound, DeFi, Zcash, Privacy, DYDX is an exchange. Arrow was up 10% yesterday. I mean, Gala for gaming, Move, Move is a big deal if Elon's talking about moving that. I don't think that's about using that. I don't think that's priced in. Render, Algorand, Aptos, Polkadot is on the list, right? Avalanche is headquartered in Brooklyn. So, I don't really understand why everyone is so bearish. I don't. I mean, he can take all of these coins He could take them all. He could take them all. Or he could vet which ones are, he could say these have the most promise. I mean, the downside of doing them all is that you're probably going to need a portfolio manager to manage the reserve because of the volatility. But frankly, it's easy to pick from the list. If you do Chainlink, Cardano, XRP, Solana, I mean, if you stick to the top of the list, that's pretty good to me. So, all right, let's go through some TA, what there is to go through in a sideways market. So, nothing is really happening here. You have 99 as support and 102 as the top of the range in Bitcoin. Solana has support at 210. Maybe it goes down there. This chart of Riot Blockchain is unbelievable. The stock was at 14. It's been flying around in a range between 14 and 10, right? I wanted to pull up MicroStrategy just so you could see it. And, again, these are shorter term charts, but you know what, folks? This is actually a pretty good looking chart considering the whole world is shorted. Like, it actually looks like the whole world is shorted because they can't get it to go down. I mean, here's a gap higher in MicroStrategy. They fill the gap, but the gap holds his support. I mean, if this is such a terrible stock, shouldn't it be falling apart? It's not falling apart. I mean, yeah, it went down with the rest of the market, but, yesterday it actually traded okay. So what's the problem? What exactly is the problem with MicroStrategy? Okay, it's overvalued relative to the Bitcoin it creates. NVIDIA is not overvalued? So you got a lot of people short this stock. So, you could have a very powerful GameStop move in something like that. Okay. Okay, so what's my view on Doge? Okay, well, whoever is behind Doge has to get Doge inside of an ETF before the Orange Man's coin becomes the preeminent meme coin. I mean, it's that simple, right? I don't know if Elon is going to embrace Doge for Twitter. He should. He was kind of the original Doge guy. Doge trades like XRP. I mean, this break out of the triangle on the downside, not a particularly good sign. I would have liked to have seen something else. That's Doge daily. Okay. Doge weekly is not showing me really anything there. And again, the market from a TA point of view is actually starting to look like that. Like like there's been so much sideways blah. But again, when people get pushed out on sideways blah, that's when you get involved. Now, on a very short-term chart, you have a nice looking bottom in Doge. So I can see upside. Short-term, for sure. This is good looking. This is a 9 bottom on the daily chart. That looks great. So, Doge doesn't look like anything on Luxalgo, but on DeMark, it looks awesome. This is terrific. I mean, you don't want to see some terrible failed rally here, but why would you? Why would you? Like, look at the weekly chart. Okay, nothing going on in the weekly. And then on the monthly, I don't know how long Doge has been on Coinbase, but, this candle on a monthly chart, this is when you would expect a dip, and that's exactly what you've gotten. Typically in a bull market, something will go up, and then sometimes within the candle, I call it an intra-candle dip, right? So most of the time people are used to it goes up and then it dips. Now it's dipping in the same month. So Doge monthly, this 4 is essentially telling you this is when you would expect a dip, and you got one. So what's the problem? I'm glad somebody brought this up. What exactly is the problem? There is no problem. There isn't. Like, big cap cryptos that can be used as money have not gone down, have gone up and gone sideways, just like ETH used to back in the day. All right, I'm going to wrap it up there because, the Fed's coming out and doing too much TA when these algos are going to trade everything today. It just doesn't make any sense. If RFK gets confirmed, the strategic crypto reserve is happening. There's going to be a multi-asset reserve, and everyone's going to have to sell the orange man about how many people they can hire. Period. It's going to have to happen. So The strategic reserve is a function of his power. As his power increases, so does the likelihood of the reserve. And it's ironic that everyone is selling the market. Every coin is not going to 10x, but there is a rally in certain obvious cryptos, like the American-made cryptos, etc., that people are blowing off. They're just blowing it off like it can't happen, and it can. Okay, we'll see you tomorrow.